Wall to ceiling flames everywhere. That means it's fired up here at Point Park University in Pittsburgh. Isenberg, LaBar, and I'm going to start off on a positive, complimentary note.
That's good.
I'm starting off positive.
Never
I
happens.
want to get fired up on Summer Rae. You know, there's been a lot of jokes on Summer Rae over the years, and we've seen her do so many different gimmicks and roles. You know, she didn't fit as Lana 2.0.
She fit for me. I was okay with that.
Yeah,
sign me up.
She's been the heel on Total Divas, but I gotta say, she finally feels like she's in the right place with Tyler Breeze. Her personality that we've seen via Total Divas and via the different gimmicks she's done, it fits Tyler Breeze's character with the constantly touching the hair, the selfies, the way they walk. And I gotta say, I popped huge on Monday Night Raw. I loved it when Tyler Breeze is fighting Dean Ambrose and Breeze and Summer on the outside. Ambrose goes to suicide dive and Breeze moves out of the way and Summer just lets out this belting scream and tells him to stop. It was just
Summer. I want Summer all year round. I'm just telling you right now. Have you seen her Instagram? You follow Danielle on Instagram, don't you?
It was just one of those moments. It felt like, you know what, this is right. She's finding her comfort zone.
I'm fired up about another diva, a diva that's finding her niche as well in Paige. The Divas Revolution did great things. It brought Charlotte into a main focus. It brought her as a Divas champion. It brought up Becky Lynch, and it also brought up Sasha Banks. And it kept Nikki and Brie Bella very relevant, and I'm okay with that. And Alicia Fox, I know you love yourself some Alicia. That haircut, working. Sign me up. But I am fired up because Paige finally removed from this trio of women and doing her own thing. If there's two divas on the roster that I want to see do their own thing, it's Paige and Sasha Banks. They don't need anybody else next to them because they are different. They're unique. Paige, look at her, look how she acts, how she walks and talks. A lot of people always thought that the international character didn't develop so much like Sheamus or Barrett because of that language barrier. Paige has broken that language barrier and has become the most consistent diva, telling stories through motions in the ring and telling stories about what she says outside of the ring. I'm fired up. Paige, I'm not turning the page because I love her.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
You want to talk about stories and emotions? It was the topic of my Friday Pittsburgh Tribune Review column. And as a guy who could be coming to WWE very soon, he went from UFC fighter, now he's on the independent circuit of pro wrestling, and he's likely going to be in WWE early 2016. Matthew Riddle, the only guy that's ever been on a 4-fight win streak from UFC and gotten fired. This guy was a good UFC fighter. His passion was pro wrestling. He got into it with the world of MMA. He got into it with not being able to pass a drug test because of medical marijuana. That's all its own story. But I want to talk about this kid, 29 years old kid. It is amazing. He had his first match back at the beginning of 2015, and how well and how comfortable he has picked up pro wrestling. Obviously, he's a natural athlete. He has a look. I say in my column, he's very similar to a Rob Van Dam or a Daniel Bryan in terms of the style he uses. He has a very laid-back personality like Van Dam. He's bigger than either of those guys are. There's a lot of potential, and there's a lot of little things he does right, and that makes me excited. You can check that out. But I'm very excited because, again, Ken Shamrock, Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, all three legendary contributions to MMA. All three have either done good business or are doing or going to be doing big business with WWE. It's exciting. Another guy from the MMA world over to WWE. Take that, pro wrestling haters.
I'm fired up about the traditional Survivor Series matches. Which ones are announced yet? The Goose Egg. None are announced. It's a Survivor Series. It's a pay-per-view that's been around longer than the Royal Rumble, longer than SummerSlam. It's the second longest running pay-per-view. Yes, it's the fourth most important of the big four. It's been like that for a decade. But why are you not making traditional Survivor Series matches? We'll talk about this in part 3 of this week. Stay tuned to that. But I'm fired up because you have a great opportunity to put tag teams together in a big traditional Survivor Series match, mix it up a little bit and put this talent, but don't put it there a week before. Develop actual storylines for these matches. I don't want to see 4 random guys like a Barrett and a Neville and this and that all together because we've seen that in every 6-man tag team match in 2015. I'm fired up because for once, WWE could really put together
Most of your SmackDown main events are Survivor Series.
Every single one. And if you don't see it on SmackDown, you'll see it the next week on Raw, or you'll see it again. But please, WWE, I get it. You don't like Survivor Series. You could care less. That's why you threw the tournament up there. But please, for the love of God, give us something different for Survivor Series. And sometimes something different is something that worked 20 years ago.
I continue to say I think you need to get rid of Survivor Series. I said a few weeks ago.
Keep the name, but make it important.
I said
again.
on Triple H Radio, the whole concept's outdated because
You're outdated.
No, because
you're outdated.
You just said my point. Because you have so many of these matches already around the clock. Survivor Series worked when you didn't have that much programming, when you had only 3 pay-per-views a year and you didn't have Monday Night Raw.
But you can still make interesting matches, four
pull
men,
Survivor,
5 men.
Pull Survivor Series out, make November a King of the Ring, like that somehow feed into something with Royal Rumble. Maybe,
Another outdated concept, King of the Ring. How many good King of the Rings have there been?
Tournaments work. No,
do they work? Tournament now does not work.
If you want it to work. Besides that, I'm fired up. My final fired up. How about this? Jimmy Fallon. I love watching Jimmy Fallon, The Undertaker, and Brad Maddox. I never thought I'd be tweeting.
Maddox.
Up next, The Undertaker and Brad Maddox on late night television. But we got it. Look, it's interesting. Some people were surprised by this. I know Mark Madden here in Pittsburgh was talking about it. He was surprised because Taker's a guy that's always protected his character, and that seems something out of the characteristic for Undertaker. I disagree. He didn't break character. He didn't smirk and shake Jimmy's hand. He completely no-sold giving a handshake to Jimmy. He did the entire Undertaker gimmick. Obviously, it's timely considering the 25th anniversary and the Undertaker week approaching. I wish WWE would take advantage of doing more things like this on late-night television. I know they do a decent amount. Conan just had Paige and so forth, but I thought it was really well done. And speaking of Undertaker on late-night television, if you want some entertainment, go on YouTube. It's from about 1990. It's from the fall of 1995. Undertaker in his purple gloves, old school Undertaker, sitting on a late night local sports talk show in Massachusetts, in the Boston market. Go Google, you'll find it. It's broken in 4 parts, and it's him trying to keep kayfabe alive. Meanwhile, he's taking live callers. It's like your live late night sports call-in show. It's hilarious.
I'm here to be fired up and break the dreams of everybody who's going to be at Cowboys Stadium in Arlington. AT&T Stadium is what it's called now. You're not getting The Rock wrestling. I'm fired up because every single person wants to see The Rock wrestle in some capacity or not on the grand stage, but he's not going to. Reports are saying that he has a contractual agreement with a movie company or with a movie, one of the movies he's filming in 2016, that's going to prohibit him from wrestling until everything's filmed up. Now, WWE wants to put this together. They want to put a Rock match, maybe Rock Triple H, Rock and Ronda Rousey, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, because that's best for business and that's going to make yourself some money. But newsflash, it ain't happening, guys. The Rock's not going to be wrestling. He's going to come out, he's going to do his shtick, we're going to love it, we're going to feed into it, we're all going to chant, we're all going to drink, and we're all going to smell what The Rock is talking.
I'm not drinking.
Again.
I'm not drinking, actually.
You never drink?